Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the very warm Eastern Sierra. It is a hot one here. It's about 80 degrees, so I'm sitting outside. It's much cooler outside than it is sitting in the trailer. There's a breeze coming through. I'm in the shade. I know 80 isn't as hot as it is in a lot of other parts of the country, but it feels very hot here. We're closer to the sun, high elevation. So yeah, it's a warm one. If you watch my last video, you do know that I am here in the Eastern Sierra. I was on a backpacking trip in that video, so if you haven't watched it, I'll go ahead and link it below. Definitely give it a watch. You might remember that I had to cut that trip short because I wasn't feeling well. And it's a good thing that I did, because I really began to feel much worse coming off of that trip. And the next several days, I was pretty much down for the count. I think that my symptoms were pretty much in line with smoke inhalation. And as I mentioned in that video, driving here from Montana, we had the windows down the entire time. I don't have AC in my truck. And through 3 very smoky states. So I think that, unfortunately, that definitely got to me and put me out for a bit. It's been quite the adventure getting here. We took a couple of days driving here. I had procured those backpacking trip permits before we got to California. So we immediately got here and went on that trip, and I got sick, then came off of the trip. And then as we were getting ready to move camps, we hitched up the trailer, and unfortunately, we had a mishap there. So I'm going to take a little break here and take you back through the events of yesterday and how they unfolded, and then I'll meet you back here afterwards.
All right, we are here at the mechanic shop. Kat's trailer hitch broke this morning. So, seeing if we can get it fixed.
Seems like I always have difficulty picking up the camera when things are going wrong. But yeah, we had an issue this morning. We were trying to move camps. We hitched up the trailer. We heard a big kind of, almost sounded like you drove into a pothole, like a big boom. I decided to pull over and check everything out, and the whole hitch assembly, the receiver assembly on the truck had tilted down. And we looked underneath, there were several bolts missing. So some of them have probably been missing for a while. We're very fortunate that didn't happen while we were on the road, and we could have lost the whole trailer. So I feel very fortunate. Took it into Mammoth. This guy over at Mammoth Motors hooked us up, got us fixed up temporarily, but he says it's good to go for a little while. We're safe until I can get the whole hitch assembly replaced. So now we're hitched back up and ready to move on to our next camp. So it's this whole assembly here, which attaches underneath to the truck. Bolts were missing, and this whole portion here was hanging down. Well, it's been quite the day. We got the truck hitch situation sorted out and got back over to the camp we were hoping to get and got a space. So it's much later than anticipated to get into Mammoth, but we did have a lot of errands to run in Mammoth today, so we are headed back over there to do that now, and it's about almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. First thing we're doing is hitting the bargain grocery store. Joe's getting ready to head out on a big backpacking trip, so we've got to get some items here. They have a lot of good backpacking food for good prices. These grocery outlets have popped up all over the West and in a lot of smaller towns. They don't have everything that the big grocery stores have, but they do have quite a big selection of inexpensive items that could be used as backpacking meals in a pinch. Mammoth Lakes is a small town, but they do have a Vaughn's grocery store as well as the grocery outlet, all types of restaurants, gas stations, mechanics, so mostly everything that you would need. I filled up on propane and filled up on fuel, so now we're going to stop at Vaughn's and get maybe a couple other items that they didn't have at the bargain outlet.
After running errands, we had worked up quite the appetite, so we decided to stop at John's Pizza Works for dinner. Their pizza and pastas are so delicious. It's one of the more popular eateries in Mammoth Lakes. No trip to Mammoth is complete without a visit to Convict Lake. We decided to close out the evening with a little dose of nature.
So even though that situation was bad and could have been really, really bad, I mean, if I would have lost my trailer on the road, if there wasn't anyone around, because we were on some very rural roads on the way here, my trailer would have been totaled. It could have been an absolute disaster. So thankfully, someone was looking after me and disaster was diverted. I did find a place near my hometown that is able to replace the whole receiver hitch on the trailer. And so I will be going home in a couple of days. I will leave the trailer up here somewhere safe, go down there and get that taken care of. The gentleman that fixed it in Mammoth said it's probably pretty solid to go for a while. I could probably take the trailer back down south, but I'm just not going to risk it. I'm going to go ahead and get it repaired properly before I attempt to move the trailer any further. I plan on staying up here in the Sierra for quite a while, or at least for probably a couple more weeks anyway. So it makes sense just to leave it up here while I go home and take care of that and visit family. Also, on the way here, one of the windows on my truck cap broke. I didn't hear it, didn't see it happen. We just happened to stop along the route, and I got out and was walking around the truck and saw that the window was just completely shattered and gone. So I have no idea where it happened, when it happened, but that's something else that I need to take care of. I think that I'll probably just replace it instead of with glass, with plexiglass. I've seen where people have done that on YouTube. It won't break, and I won't have the ability to open and close it, but it will probably be a lot less expensive than trying to replace that little window. That is just life happening out here. These are the things that happen. I'm pretty much learned to roll with the punches. I did not panic through any of these situations, and it's all things that can be taken care of, and I've got lined up to get things done one by one. Thank you to everybody who sent me well wishes. So many of you sent me well wishes on the last video to get better, and I can report as well that I'm feeling so much better. So for the rest of the evening here, I think that I'm just gonna have some of my leftover lasagna for dinner. Joey's gonna have leftover pizza, and tomorrow will be an eventful day. I'll be dropping him off to start his backpacking trip up north a little further. I'm gonna take you to a absolutely beautiful lake up there near where I'll be dropping him off, take you along for the ride through a very charming town, and we'll see what else we can get into tomorrow. It should be a fun day. I'll check back with you then. Future Cat here, just sitting outside of a laundromat preparing some AG1. They make it so easy with these convenient travel packs that I can just sit out here, pour a little water, drop in one of these little handy dandy packs, and be on my way to a healthier day. Being on the road as often as I am, it can be very challenging getting the nutrients my body needs daily. One scoop of AG1 makes it too easy to cover my nutritional bases while traveling.
AG1 is more-in-one nutrition. It is designed to replace multiple supplements by covering nutritional gaps with a comprehensive blend of nutrients. Just one tasty scoop each day helps meet your foundational health needs. Simply put, it's a way to invest in your health now and in the long run.
Most of you know that I do travel for a living, and I recently drove from Montana to California in just a couple of days. It is very difficult to make sure that I'm eating well while traveling. I just stop and get whatever's quick, whatever's easy. That's where AG1 comes into play. It fills those nutritional gaps that I am missing.
With 75 ingredients your body can easily absorb, AG1 supports gut health, focus and energy, stress and mood balance, and immune defense.
I've been taking AG1 for several years now because it does my body good. I feel better when I do. I feel like I am doing something for my body that improves my health on a daily basis. And if you would like to try it for yourself, go ahead and click that link below or scan the QR code here, and they will send you a year's supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 of those handy dandy travel packs for free with your first purchase. Thank you once again to AG1 for sponsoring this video. Now back to the show. Good morning. It's another beautiful morning here in the Eastern Sierra. Just enjoying my coffee, about to get a little breakfast started. Joey's getting his last minute preparations and packing done for his backpacking trip. He pulled his permit this morning, and in just a little while we'll start heading north so I can go drop him off. We're going to take a quick stop at the ranger station up in Bridgeport. He will be going out of the Twin Lakes area, so we'll stop there to grab his permit, and I'll take you through town, take you and show you Twin Lakes, which is absolutely beautiful. Maybe we'll stop and grab a quick bite there in Bridgeport, not sure, but it's going to be a lovely day. And then we got more going on today, but that will be number one.
Let's take a drive up Highway 395, shall we? Any drive along the 395 is a beautiful one. We would pass through Lee Vining on the way north. Lee Vining is known as the gateway to Yosemite on the eastern side. The town was named after Leroy Vining, who founded the town in 1852 as a mining camp. In 1926, the town was laid out by Chris Matley and named Lakeview. But when a post office was sought in 1928, it was learned that another town, Lakeview, California, already had the name. After passing through Lee Vining, you are treated to beautiful views of Mono Lake, which is a saline soda lake formed at least 760,000 years ago. The lack of an outlet causes high levels of salts to accumulate in the lake, which make its water alkaline. We decided to stop in Bridgeport for a little bit of lunch at Jolly Cone. Joey got the pastrami sandwich and I ordered some chicken strips, which were absolutely delicious. Maybe the best chicken strips I've ever had, to be honest. I'll show and tell you a little bit more about Bridgeport on my way back to camp.
Have a great time.
See you in 10 days. I just broke your trekking pole.
Oh, great.
Is that normal?
Great
Is it
start.
supposed to do that?
It can do that, but it's never done it to me.
I just always like to break cat stuff. All right. Have a safe week, Cat.
Yeah, you too. Have
See ya.
fun. Okay.
In about 9 or 10 days.
Okay, bye. All right, well, I've just seen Joey off for his big adventure, and now I'm ready to start part 2 of this day, which means heading back to camp for a bit. But isn't Twin Lakes gorgeous? It is beautiful here. It is a hot day. I don't envy him having to climb a mountain today, but he'll have a great time.
I made a quick stop at the Twin Lakes General Store for an ice-cold water. Formerly known as Big Meadows, Bridgeport is annually visited by thousands of tourists, many of whom come to the area for its well-known trout streams and lakes. Bridgeport Reservoir, Twin Lakes, Virginia Lakes, Green Creek, the East Walker River, and the West Walker River, and numerous small tributaries and backcountry lakes offer rainbow, brown, and cutthroat trout fishing. I made certain not to go 1 mile over the speed limit on that drive because there were highway patrol everywhere and they were pulling people over left and right. There is probably a misconception out here because you're on a wide open road that no one is going to notice you speeding, and that's just not the case. They are out in force up here. Just be warned in advance if you are heading up the 395 or down the 395, watch your speed. There's some things that I need to do for the remainder of the afternoon because I will be heading back to my hometown tomorrow to take care of not only the trailer hitch issue, but also get an oil change and to see family. I've not been home since April, and I was home for a very, very brief time then, and before that it was January. So this is only going to be the second time since January that I've seen family, and it is now August. I'm really excited. One of the little ones in the family is turning 5 and there's going to be a birthday party, but I do need to get packed. But before I do that, I need to do laundry. I can probably take my dirty clothes to my mom's place and do it there. However, I don't really feel like dragging a bunch of dirty clothes to my mom's house. So I'm going to go back into Mammoth Lakes, and I may meet up with a friend for dinner. She spends the majority of the summer up here. She is also from near my hometown, and we might just grab a bite and get caught up. We'll see. But I do want to show you some of the beautiful lakes up in Mammoth Lakes when I'm down there. I'm here in the Mammoth Lakes laundromat. I've made plans to meet up with my friend for a bite at one of my favorite restaurants in a bit. As soon as I get my clothes in the dryer, we will head up and check out some of the beautiful lakes up here. I decided to meet up with my friend Lorianne before visiting the lakes at Roberto's, my favorite Mexican restaurant in Mammoth, and probably some of my favorite Mexican food anywhere. Mammoth Lakes is named Mammoth Lakes because it is surrounded by lakes, both in the backcountry and easily accessible in the front country.
am here at a car wash in Bishop at 6 o'clock in the morning. I took off bright and early. It is beautiful. Seeing some alpenglow on the mountains this morning. I'll show you through all the telephone wires. I've made a pit stop here at a rest area just outside of Independence, California. I have about 275 more miles to get to my hometown. I left bright and early this morning at 5 a.m. It was still very dark outside. I'm trying to beat the heat because, as I mentioned before, I have no AC in my truck. So it is supposed to be somewhat pleasant near the ocean, near where my mom is. I will have some hot desert to drive through until I get there. But it shouldn't be too bad. It's still pretty early. Tomorrow I'll be dropping off my truck at noon to get the new hitch receiver installed. They might need to keep it overnight. And I'll also be getting an oil change. I'll probably do that first, get up bright and early. I'm gonna try to take care of all the things that I need to take care of while I'm in an actual city, as well as visit my family. Once again, this video is somewhat chaotic. You just never know what's gonna happen. The more time that you spend on the road, the more likely things will go wrong. I've had so many things go wrong since I've been on the road that I can't even remember everything. I have learned over time to turn chaos into calm. There is no need to get all in an uproar and to get really stressed out and panic. I mean, that used to be my go-to. It's just the first reaction would be panic. But now I just stay calm. I know that everything will get taken care of. The best thing you can possibly do is just stay calm, do the next indicated step, and just figure out how you're going to take care of things. And these things will get taken care of. And we'll be back in tip-top shape until something else goes wrong. That trailer hitch was on this truck when I bought it. I don't know how old it was. I don't know how long those bolts have been on there. It gives me one more thing to check on my checklist of things to periodically look at, and it was something I had never even thought of. I'd never even thought of checking those bolts. Now it is something that I know to do, and I would recommend it to you as well if you have a trailer hitch. And yeah, we'll have a brand new one put on. So I'm going to go ahead and get back on the road. I appreciate you all so much for joining me. I'm sorry that it wasn't some adventure hike or, you know, something more exciting in terms of adventure, but it is real life, and I want to show you that as well. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It very much helps my channel, and it's absolutely free. And I will see you all on the next adventure. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
This time I need to wait it out. Hold on tight, there's a storm standing in the eye. When it rains, it pours, and you sure know how to make me cry. Thank God for the moon and how she lights up the sky too.